Hi guys, welcome back to Not Another Budget. I'm Nicole, and on this channel I am trying really hard to get out of debt and get current on my bills and learn how to budget and manage my money better, because it's not been going great for the past entirety of my adult life. So let's try and fix that now. Do excuse me today, I'm a little bit croaky and chesty. My voice is really thin and I don't quite know, well, I think I know why. But we'll get onto that in a moment. Now, this video is hopefully a little bit shorter. It's my week 4 roundup, which I didn't get to film on Sunday because life happened, and that kind of stopped things. So I don't in this video have my next week, which is week 5, which is currently the week I'm filming in, because I'm still waiting on my wage slip to land. And whilst I can guesstimate my estimated wages for this week based on the fact that employer number 1 wages was not correct, I am just going to play it safe and wait for the actual amount so I don't get either disappointed or end up with more money and have not planned for it ahead of time. So that video I will be recording at some point today once the wage slip drops. And I don't know if anyone else has the same thing. When I started kind of normal employment like 14 years ago, you used to get your wage slip like a week in advance, and then you knew what you were getting and you could check it over, and if there were any queries you could raise them in advance of you getting paid. And nowadays, actually, with both employers, and in fact any employer I've had for the past 5 years, I think, where I've been in a PAYE non-freelance system, it's always been the day before or the day of that you get your wage slip. And I don't quite know why that is, but I'm not a fan of that. But let me know if anyone else has the same thing. I don't know when that changed, but it's slightly frustrating. So let's do a roundup of my week 4 September budget. I can't believe there's 5 weeks in September. 19th to the 25th, which was last week. And if we go to my goals, first of all, I wanted to complete and invoice my freelancing work, which I did. I'm going to half cross a room a day. I did a room every other day. I think I was a little bit too optimistic in thinking that I would straight away have the energy and lung capacity to be able to do a room a day, but I'm going to half cross it because, you know, I made good progress and I did things thoroughly. So yeah. And the 1 hour a day being creative, again, a half cross. I didn't really feel creative. And then when I was trying to force it, I was like, oh, this is such a waste of time. Go clean a room or go do something else. So I think I was quite low last week. And I'm going to talk about mental health. So if that's not what you're here for, I'll see you in another video. But I was feeling quite low. And my voice does tend to go quite thin. And more croaky than just bad lungs, basically, when I do. And it didn't result in massive spending chaos, but I was definitely away from social media and wasn't really catching up on anyone's videos properly. I started really well in the beginning of the week, and then I just kind of slowly felt myself sliding downhill. I was quite introvert, like I am an introverted person anyway, but and I'm at home anyway, but I just wanted to be not around people. I turned down a couple of visits from friends and family because I just didn't feel like it. And I just felt like I needed to go quite inwards and just be and sit and rest. And that definitely contributed to not really being creative. And then that combined with just the slowness and the sluggishness, there we are, that comes with feeling low, plus then not being at full health. So it was a really weird week, I think. But I'm just going to cough for 1 second, so just do excuse me. The great thing is I am on new medication and it is kind of working, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. At the minute, I am on track for a return to work next week, and I would like to be back at work because I suspect that employer number 2, who I'm waiting for, I've run out of, I think, contractual sick pay, so I need to be back soon. So let's go over my income. So The rollover was £40. I pulled £80 from Vinted, and then by the time I completed my freelance work, there was actually 129. But because I'd already pulled the £80 from Vinted before I'd invoiced that, because I think Vinted, I know it can go in anywhere from like 1 working day to 5 working days. So I'd pulled that at the start of the week, so it was covered. So my projected income was 205, my actual income was 249, and my council tax was 165. So I am very happy about that. That was paid. And then that left me a balance of £84. Now, there was a little bit of spending that went on. I'm just going to move my coffee. And what I think happened was I, for all in the will in the world, under budgeted the rollover. The coffee was £7.75, and that is fine. And to be honest, I over budget because £10 will easily do me a couple of coffee trips with a friend if I decide to do that, or one trip would do, you know, a coffee and a slice of cake. But unless I am going out for the day, which is a rarity, £10 only really covers it. And to be fair, I've not gone and done that every day this week, so I'm not worried about that. But I didn't budget anything for the cat, and then he went through his treats faster than I thought he would because I didn't have a chance to get dry food the week before. So I think I always need to allow something for the cat, even if it is just £5. And then if I don't spend it, great. But if I don't budget it, that's an unbudgeted spend. Spendy was £6.90. It was £6.99 more than anticipated. So I think that if there is the money there, now granted when I did this budget the money wasn't there, but what I should have then done when I realised what my invoice was up to, I should have then actually redone this and reallocated and refilmed, but I didn't have the headspace to do that properly at the time. But I think £10 a week is too lean for personal spending, and I don't want to punish myself. There are already things that I don't do within my budget that many others do, and that's merely a personal preference, and a large amount of it is dictated by my income, and I do accept that. But if I had an extra £10 to put towards my spending money versus £10 to put towards, I don't know, toiletries or eating out, I would much rather put that £10 towards my spending money, I think. So that's just something to bear in mind. And again, food, highly optimistic at the minute, thinking that £10 would be enough to cover food. I did actually go back and break down my big food shop that I did the week before, which was just over £80. And I never classed myself as a prepper, but I've always had a emergency food pantry battery stash. And I love Emily's Budgets. It's a fantastic channel, and she said something which was, even if you're just buying an extra tin or so a week and you're putting it aside, you are a prepper. So I've always, when I've done my 2 big food shops a month, bought prepping things just as a norm, and I've been doing it for so long every time that I food shop that I didn't even think that should be its own budgeted category. So when I went back and broke down actually that big £80 food shop that I did last week, about £35 of it was strictly preps and pantry, like, you know, in case the world goes to pop. So I'm going to do that as a separate category and then look more realistically at what my food budget is. But I think at the very minimum it needs to be back to £20 a week, maybe 25 with the cost of food. Happy Mail, an entirely unbudgeted spend, and I think this was a little bit of emotional spending as well. And I have some of that Happy Mail has arrived, so I showed you, so I will show you that in this video. But I did a little bit of Happy Mail spending, not for a giveaway, just for myself. And then the house, I had allocated £10 into my house envelope. And then when I went into Wilko's in the week, when I went for coffee, they actually had a pair of thermal blackout curtains on clearance for £15 that were the right width and length. And that is on, I do have a very set list of what I want to get for my house, specifically to try and keep it warmer during winter. And thermal blackout curtains for my bedroom were there. They were an acceptable colour and they were £15. And then I bought a little storage tub for my budgeting supplies. So £6.80 was an unallocated, unbudgeted spend, and I just took that £10 back out of that envelope because I did spend it on the house. So, and I was quite pleased to get them for that. Look, I need to get another pair of thermal blackout curtains, but they're full length, kind of floor-ish to ceiling, and I think the cheapest ones I can find are £35, and that's kind of hurting my soul a little bit. But I need it to block the cold air coming in from the conservatory. I'm going to do a separate video about that because I'm going to do a separate video about that, I think, and not go into it in this one. I don't want to keep this video too long. So my overall spending was £77.18, and I had £6.82 in change. Sorry guys, there's going to be a lot of croakiness. So £6.82 is going in towards challenges. So that brings us down to zero. So it wasn't, do you know what? It was an okay week. In the past, when I felt really low and really rubbish, this wouldn't have even been paid and I would have just spent wildly. So I'm not going to, it's fine. Actually, it's fine. This isn't making me feel low. This is fine. And none of these were crazy and actually more in line. I did go back and look at my other budgets for the month of September. I'm worrying my words, sorry. And because what I'm going to do is at the end of this month actually write down every single category that I've spent money in and what I've actually spent, because I've never done an overview of what income I have from where and what my money is going to and when and where. So, and look at kind of, are there any outliers? Because, in a decade of adulthood, nearly 12 years of adulthood, I've never actually done that. So that's that week. That one's done. So what I'm going to quickly do, I have my 1p waiting because there are some pennies in there, but I did just want to very quickly show you the first bit of Happy Mail that's arrived. There were only 2 orders, so nothing too extraneous. And this is the 1 calendar moon challenge from the lovely Abundant Budgets, and considering the week she's just had, this was dispatched incredibly quickly and it arrived, and it is just beautiful. It's not one that I'm going to start straight away, but it's a scratch and save, and the total is save 100. And as soon as she released this, I went, oh, I need this in my life. So that is this one, and it's just beautiful, and it's all my colours and my little kind of slightly alternative self just coming out there. So that is really lovely, and I just want to show you that, and I just recommend this. This is very much not a treat yourself saving challenge, so to speak, but to have something this beautiful as a savings challenge, I think is a treat. So Abundant Budgets, really, really lovely 1 calendar moon challenge, and just go check out her channel as well because it is lovely. It's a really lovely channel actually. She's doing some really wonderful things. There's my voice going again. Okay, so this is my normal budget binder. This one's empty. This is my spending savings challenge binder. So I have that ready. I don't think I've got any 50p's this week, but I'm just going to tip this out. So just bear with me for the noise. Okay, so same as normal. I'll put the £1 to one side. All fingers and thumbs this morning. So I have £5 there in pound coins. I'm just going to put them to one side for now because I do have my £1 savings challenge ready. Yes, I do. It's in there. Okay, so I've also got a new angle for my phone arm ostrich wand clamp. So I have 7p in pennies. I don't actually have the jar over here. Hang on. Bear with me 1 second, guys. That's better. So I have 7p. I have the correct pen this week, so we can cross this one off. So yeah, I've tried a new angle on a new stable platform now that I've actually cleared my windowsill and tidied up this room. So hopefully there should not be as much camera shake. So let's see. I can't even think this morning. Okay, so I've got 35. Can I do 35? Yep, I can do 35. It's not going to be as chatty this week, guys. I'm not yet back to where I want to be. And I'm also conscious that I've got a lot to film, and once I've done my upstairs bathroom and hoovered the landing, I will have then done my entire upstairs. So, yeah. So how much do I have in 20p? So I have 2080. I've already got 140. Okay. So let's have a look. Can I do... No, can't do that. Can't do 15. Can't do 15, can't do 20, can't do 25. Oh, this is the problem with this. 145. Can I do 95p? Okay, let's do 95p and 45p. I don't think you guys can see that actually. There we go. Yeah, I've got a lot that I want to get filmed and get back on that, because it did dip away last week. I know a couple of people have said, "Where are you?" And I'm like, I'm sorry. I just don't feel like it this week. So that is that all done there. So that's ticking over nicely. I feel like I say that in every single video. And then we have my 1p savings challenge jar. And I've had thoughts about this one actually. And we've got my... Oh no, I don't have the right coloured pen. That's going to upset me. I'm definitely not prepared to do this one, guys, at all. Well, red will work. I'll just make it work. So I have £5, which is £5 coins. Oh, it's not what I wanted to do. I think that, yeah, I don't actually know where I'm going with that train of thought. I'm a little bit scattered and all over the place. Yeah, if I can get the whole house done this week, that would be good. And again, I'm a little bit, what is my wage going to be? And I don't like this state of unknowing, particularly when I'm already in a week. Now, if I had just worked my normal shifts, I would go back and I would know nearly down to a penny what I'd be getting paid well in advance. But because I have been off sick and I do pick up overtime, this is a really dark challenge. Well, I've made it really dark, so the next one will have to be a lot lighter. Yeah, normally this wage that I bring in with overtime averages around about £580, and I've not done any overtime. I've not done any overtime at all. And the contractual sick pay is, I think, not contractual based on your hours. So normally I pre-booked this week off as annual leave months ago, before I knew I was going to be unwell, and I didn't think that this would be a problem, and I booked this week off to go through and sort out and tidy the house, but to also get things like, I don't have a tumble dryer, my house is incredibly cold. I could have, and have done, have the heating on all day and still at highest as it can go, and the house still be incredibly cold, and I would be there in thermals, and it is a problem. And with the 4 houses that I'm connected to, I'm a semi-detached, and all 4 houses in my little bit where I live, we all have the same problem with heating. We don't know why. We're all with different providers. They've all sent people out to look and do the thermal scans, and I have a conservatory, which doesn't help. So what I'd wanted to do prior to me being ill, a little bit of story time, guys, prior to me being ill, was I would have worked a load of overtime in September, received the wage, and then gone and got things like a heated airer, done all the thermal curtains, looked at energy efficient lighting, draft excluders, everything like that I was going to do. And I knew that it was going to be about £200 and this to do everything. And this was obviously before I was looking at my money and before I realised how far behind on bills I was. So I know that I'm sitting here saying I'm going to go spend £200. I'd intended to spend £200 on my house when I wasn't up to date on my bills and had debt. That is not going to be the case because I don't have that money, and therefore I'm going to need to, I think, prioritise what is going to be spent if I can spend anything. So what I think I'm going to do is swap these out for a note, because also once I get my cash out, hopefully this week, once I get my cash out, I know that I won't be able to pick how many £5 notes I want. So I may need to do what I did last time, which was put a note in place and then take the pound coins out to give me the right denomination. But what I may do, I think there's over £20 in there now, so I may take 20, swap it out for a note and then put that in the house, because it's going to be, if I can do both, I would like to do a heated airer, not an expensive one at all. I'll be scouring the internet for deals. I'd like to do a heated airer and the thermal curtains for my lounge, which will stop the air coming through from the conservatory. Anything else I can look at on then a month by month basis and play it by ear, but it's not, ideal. I need to just look and see. I'm really not happy not knowing what I'm getting paid. So, yeah, I am prepared for it to be very, very, very low. So I am mentally prepared for that. And I also have freelancing work that I can do and complete as well. I've got some work left over, but I hadn't intended to do any of that this week, and that may throw a spanner in the works. So thanks for a slightly weird, slightly lower tone, I guess. Week 4 budget roundup. I may struggle actually to film today. I just hope that my lungs and my chest stay out. I'm going to go clean the bathroom, which is everyone's favourite task, I know. And then I will hopefully by then have got my wage slip and I can actually do this, because I can't even... I've done 2 or 3 versions of this for worst case scenario, best case scenario, and maybe somewhere in the middle. And even if we land somewhere in the middle, it's okay. But it just makes me really antsy. I'm a planner who's not very good at sticking to plans. But so we will go from there. And I've also had a very good friend who I go for coffee with say, look, come on, if you're up to it, let's go through to the city, change of scenery, just go do something, because she's off on annual leave as well, and that may or may not also impact my budget. And I need to get back onto Vinted because that has lied down as well. So I've got loads to do and I'm not really feeling it, but I will just put some headphones in and listen to proper 90s and outies disco tunes, I think. Because it's that kind of day. But I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you all so much for following, liking, subscribing, commenting. I am behind on comments once again. That is no surprise. I will get back to every one of you, I promise. I'm making loads of promises. Gosh, stop me now, guys. Thank you so much. I will catch up with you probably tomorrow, maybe later on today, if I can do that and get my stuff through. And we will go from there. But thanks you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.